Let's talk about Gotham Knights. When the game came out, I saw every single review, and they all said it was bad. But it looks so pretty, I kept saying to myself. And today's video, I'm going to tell you why this game is actually not bad at all, and why other reviewers are full of doo-doo. And I'm not saying they did it because they don't have integrity. I'm not saying they did it because they're not good reviewers. But they didn't take the time to love and appreciate a really, really fun game. I played through the whole game from front to back to back to front, playing with every single Gotham character I could. You got Nightwing, you got Robin, you got Red Hood, and you got Batgirl. And when I got into the game, I initially saw the problems that people talked about. They said that the game was difficult. They said the game's fighting mechanic left something to be desired. And that's true, if you're comparing it directly to the Arkham series of games. But one thing that made me feel like this game was different was when I compared the driving to the Arkham series of games. I'm talking about the Batmobile, which showed up in Arkham Knight. And when I say that was a horrible mechanic, I mean it was the worst mechanic I ever played in a video game in my life. I hated it. I couldn't stand it. It made me stop playing the game for at least a month. And yet when I played this game and got on the Bat Cycle or Copper or whatever you're gonna call it, it was freaking dope. It was the first time I actually felt, it's the first time I felt good in a game driving where it's not a core mechanic. They didn't force it into the game, they didn't require it, they let it be an option of how you can travel. And I'm telling you, it is smooth. I don't crash that much. I honestly get to everywhere a lot faster in that mode of transportation. Until, of course, you get your knighthood abilities, which allow you to do things like glide or hop through the air. And even then, I still choose to use the cycle every now and again because it just feels good. And that made me think, maybe there's more to this game than what the reviewers are saying. Maybe there's more to this game than, what the pile-on is. So I kept playing it, and I decided to stop for a second and actually read the guidebook that's included inside the game. And doing that changed everything. I mean, everything. Because the guidebook tells you how to play the game. It explains the fighting mechanic. It shows you how you're basically using this as an RPG builder to build out each character. And yes, it is kind of annoying to have to go and rebuild each character after already doing some of the missions in previous rounds. But to me, it's actually satisfying to go back and do it better with a different character that might have different attributes for that actual part of the game. So I found myself enjoying the game more so as Red Hood in some parts, but also more fun in other parts as Robin, and other parts as Batgirl. So I found that each character has a stage or abilities that you can grow them into that make them more fun to play. And the thing is, if you play this game longer, you get rewarded for it. At first I thought the maps were empty. I'm like, yo, this game is empty. What's going on here? There's no one to fight, nothing to do. But as I played it longer and longer, that opened up. As you reached other bosses and other street level battles, that opened up. And now I'm getting inundated with villains, and it's freaking great. This really is an open world game where you can make it your own. This really is you playing as one of Batman's family members. You're not playing as Batman, so it's not gonna be the same. You're not gonna glide like Batman does initially. You have to grind, you have to get there, you have to learn, like any of them would have early in their career. It feels like a more romantic but also realistic version of being a crime fighter. It's not always that easy. Sometimes when I would go to grab, a villain and try to hold him, I would get seen immediately when doing the stealth missions. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. How are you seeing me? Well, because I'm right in front of you. Unlike the Arkham games where you could take somebody down in front of their ally. If you do it sly enough, they don't see you. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm right in front of you. You don't hear that screaming or anything. Well, in this game, that doesn't happen until you get to a certain part of the game where you can, up someone's attribute to be able to take people out more stealthily. And I think that makes it a more realistic way of crime fighting. In the same way that if you're fighting a whole group of villains, it's not gonna be that easy. And for me, that made the game more enjoyable when I realized I'm actually earning my way through this game. I'm actually becoming a hero. And it was magnificent. And again, the longer I played the game, the more and more I enjoyed it. I even went to multiplayer for a little bit, and that was a blast too. Especially once my characters got ranked up, and that didn't take long. You have to know what you're going for. You have to make a target and go after it. This game doesn't hand you things like other games do. I think modern gamers are lazy, and they're used to quick time events. This game has none of those. You have to actually do the work. You have to learn the mechanics and learn how the fighting works. Like, I fought villains in this game thinking I was going to lose every time. I was outnumbered, I was underpowered, and when I look back and go, wait, maybe I'm using the wrong character, or maybe I haven't learned the right moves to be in this part of the game yet. And I went and looked at the menu screen, and the menu said it was recommended for people who had powered up to a certain level. I was already fighting beyond my means. That's why I couldn't do it. And a lot of the mistakes I found myself making in this game were my fault from being a lazy gamer and being used to things handed to me. This game, I'll say it, is pretty great the longer you play it. It starts out slow. It's like a relationship. It starts out slow, but over time it builds and it gets better and better and better and rewards you for sticking with it. Now I feel myself getting excited to play this game every day. I come home and I'll switch out characters. Red Hood for some missions, Robin for others, Batgirl for others. And you notice I've ignored Nightwing. Nightwing kind of sucks to play with. Of the the group, he's the one I'm like, I think I'm good, bro. I don't need to play with you. So I've been going in and out of missions and out of stories and jumping around with other characters, not Nightwing. Maybe I'll try it again later, but he's kind of the weak link. So if you pick Nightwing initially and you hated this game, I understand why right now. But I'm telling you right now, I recommend this game to everyone. I think this game is really fun. It's great. It's better when you have friends to play with. So if you want to join me, add me on PSN. I'll put my info down below so anyone can join. But I want to be real, guys. This game is more than its own its parts. This game is more than what people said it is. I think those people who said this game wasn't good, it was bad, didn't really play it. They didn't really get into it. They didn't immerse themselves in it. That's why I have a hard time sometimes with other reviewers, because they will literally just give their quick pass first initial thoughts, and they never go back to revisit it to go, well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this game has more to it than I thought it did. And I'm gonna say it, and I know I'm divisive when I say this, but this game is better than people give it credit for. This game looks beautiful. The story's immersive. Yeah, there is some kind of cringy moments with the NPCs and the dialogue, because they kind of repeat over and over and over again. That does get old, but you can ignore that because they're just NPCs. They don't make the game. What makes the game is the battles and open worldness and the story and even customizing your character and making it your own. And I think that if you do that, you'll find this game is much better than what everyone says it is. And again, I'm telling you, you might get into the game at first and be like, yo, okay, I see it. I see the mistakes. I see the flaws. It's a AAA title. What's going on? I think this game was intended to be really taken in and actually studied a little bit. Because again, if you go to that guidebook that's inside the game, I know no games don't do this anymore, it's inside the game. They answered all your questions. If you go through all the actual, I know people hate doing this, I do sometimes too. If you go through, some of the things, the tutorials that teach you how to play the game, you'll be better for it. Because as soon as I did that, I was kicking butt like no one's business. I was Robin going into a room of villains that previously kicked my butt as other characters. And I wiped the floor with them because I understood now I have to use the momentum ability sometimes. You have to use them. You have to actually dodge. You have to actually power up your character sometimes and do the thing that you didn't think to do. You can't just walk in and hit him and move and run and jump. You got to do more. It requires it. It requires you to actually learn the battle system. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's making you actually get immersed in the game. And for that reason, I'm going to say, for me at least, Gotham Knights does its job. Gotham Knights is a good game. Gotham Knights is a fun game. Could it be more polished? Yes. Can it be patched? Yes. Will they patch it? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't work for that company. But I am suggesting that you give this game a chance. If I would personally say, if you're worried about it, here's a couple of ways you can get the game. One, go ahead and rent it via one of those GameFly services. Try it out that way. Go and get it from Amazon. You can return games on Amazon. People don't know that. You can do that. You can return the game. You don't like it. Okay? Or wait until the holidays are coming up right now, like this next month. And you can get it on Black Friday, which I know is going to drop in price because of all the bad reviews. But I'm telling you that if they polish it a little bit more, it could be a perfect game. But the way it is, it's still a perfectly good game, and I'm having a genuine good time playing it. I'm not just telling you that. I don't want to sit around wasting my time, playing the game for hours. if it's not sucking me in, if it's not fun, if it's not taking care of me. Again, it's like a relationship. I don't want to be with that girl who don't, like, you know what I'm saying, lick toes. I don't want to be that girl. I want to be the girl that sucks all the toes, kiss my nipples, and hugs me at night, you know? Makes me a steak dinner. And this game is doing some of that. Well, not really. That'd be weird. But anyway, I'm just telling you guys to go check this game out. I know it's getting bad reviews, but I'm telling you, this is not me just gassing up the game just to gas it up. No one paid me for this. You can look at the views of this channel, and you know no one's paying me for it. This is an actual good game. The people that don't like it did not take the time to actually play it. They rushed through it, got through the first initial parts of the game, and did not get to the point where it actually started to pick up or the character got built up. And I think there's nothing wrong with actually having to stop playing as one character, going back in and playing as another. Because again, the map opens back up. There's plenty to, I'm telling you right now, maybe 2 hours into the game, I have too much to do sometimes. I have like three villain arcs going on at the same time. I have like little side missions going on, which actually are fun to take over. I'm just telling you, it's actually really enjoyable. And I can see myself playing this game for a while if they continue to update it and give it, DLC. And yeah, that's really all I got, guys. Again, people like who didn't like this game kind of wanted it to be a Batman Arkham game, and that's what they're comparing it against. And it's not one of those games. And they wanted, Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, and Red Hood to be Batman. They're not going to be Batman. They are not the sum of his parts. You know what I mean? They are not. They are literally separate characters, and they will behave differently. They will have different abilities. They're not gonna be like as good or as great as Batman would play in this game. And people don't understand that. They want like, oh, well, all I have is my grappling hook and I'm just jumping around. Well, yeah, think about this. Realistically, if you were Red Hood, Batgirl, Robin, any of the characters, right? And you had to get around the city. How are you gonna get around? You're gonna get around with your grappling hook. And do you learn how to do other things later? Yes, you know why? Because you evolve as a crime fighter over time. You evolve, you get more abilities, you grow into yourself. And that's what happens to each character in this game as you play through it. And you choose your own adventure. There's a lot to do in this game. And I'm telling you, it is good. I don't know if anyone else out here has played it. I want to hear your opinion. I do think that, again, the reviewers went really hard on this. And even the reviewers are like, well, I'm not going to pile on, but it is a bad game. I'm like, you're lying. You're lying. You're piling on because that gets views. Positivity doesn't get views. And that's just what it is. So I want you guys to tell me your real opinion of this game if you have played it. If you haven't played it, I don't know what you have to say, but feel free to share. But ultimately, my name is Chris, and I think this is an actually really good game.